Hello and welcome. I'm excited to introduce you to this episode of Viewpoint on the Ask Krishna channel. Today I'm truly privileged to have a dialogue with His Holiness Sri Krishna Desika Jeeyar Swamiji. This interactive dialogue of today with Swamiji is from the lens of a student. It is from the lens of an individual seeking rational explanation to religious and philosophical topics. And lastly, it is from the lens of someone who is on a spiritual quest. I wanted this to be very much applicable to the NRI community. And in my interactive dialogue with Swamiji, I put on multiple hats of an inquirer, of a student, of somebody who is a student of science as well. We will cover the topics of avatara or incarnations and its applicability for the youth of today. We will speak about the contradictions and conflicts in pursuing theistic beliefs across various deities, and for lack of a better word, the constitutional position of each deity. We'll discuss why certain deities in the Hindu tradition are often given priority versus others. And we'll also discuss the characteristics of the supreme form, the divine, or as they say, Bhagavan. If you're seeking rational answers, then you want to stay till the end of this interactive dialogue. Now, a few sentences about Swamiji. Swamiji brings in a unique blend of scientific and faith-based discipline. Prior to taking up sannyas ashram or becoming a seer, Swamiji was a medical physicist for nearly 30 years here in the US, with a strong foundation through an academic degree of a PhD in experimental nuclear physics. The combination of science and religious discipline with the exposure to the Eastern and the Western cultures has given Swamiji the ability to look at the facets of life from multiple perspectives. I particularly like him because he walks the talk and talks the walk. At the command of his acharya or spiritual guru, Swamiji constructed the wonderful and unique Sri Vaishnava temple of Sri Ranganatha at Pomona, New York. It's an amazing place, filled rich with devotion and tradition, mesmerizing deities, and just looking in there, going in there, brings you the best of faith and divinity. Personally, I have to say, in transparency, this temple is very close to my heart and our family. Swamiji continues to play a key role at the temple and propagates the message of salvation and the path to get there. Without further delay, please join me on this dialogue with His Holiness Sri Krishna Desika Jeeyar Swamiji. Now, one last thing. Before we go further, don't forget to subscribe to the Ask Krishna channel and support this channel to have many more of the spiritually rich videos that allow you to live a life of faith, free from fear, and live a life of common sense and rationality. Let's get on with this amazing dialogue with Swamiji.
First of all, thank you so much, Krishna, for taking some time to talk about a few very relevant topics today, particularly for the NRI community, who probably are not so fortunate to be embedded with the tradition and the philosophy right from childhood, but who probably are now getting accumulated and evolved in the system. So today's topic with that regard is focused on Daśāvatāra, a topic which is often very much misunderstood, and I'll tell you why. And the question and answer today, I hate to call it an interview, but more of a dialogue with you, is not so much about challenging or proving anything. It is really with your learned knowledge to understand your perspective. So that is where we will get started, Swamiji, today. But before that, just want to give you a couple of minutes before I start asking, give you a couple of minutes.
Just feel free. As you said, it's not a challenge. But take it in a way challenge. The question is, let us help everyone to understand what Bhagavan himself has given in Bhagavad Gita. There is no question that is not answered in Bhagavad Gita. That is the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. We should be smart enough to look for the right answer at the right place. But Bhagavan Krishna answered almost all the questions in Bhagavad Gita in just 701 verses. Go ahead, start wherever you want.
So, first off, Swamiji, when we talk about Daśāvatāra, there is this perception and there is also a lot of, as you know, background that says, is it really only 10 avatars? Why is that became popular? When, as we keep hearing in Bhagavata, there is around 24 avatars, and today we just did Lakshmi Agriva Homam here. So, where does Lakshmi Agriva fit in that as an example? So, let us start with that.
As you said, avataras are not, the incarnations of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana are not limited to 10. As per Bhagavad Gita, the number of incarnations of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana are in billions, billions. How do you know? Go back to Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tat atmanam sujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskrutam dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Even if you take it as one incarnation per yugam, there are actually more than one incarnations in some yugas. Even if you take the minimum, as Krishna says, whenever dharma is on the decline, adharma is on the rise, Krishna says, I create myself. What for? Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the virtuous people, vinashaya cha duskrutam, to wipe out the miscreants, dharma samsthapanardhaya, to establish dharma, sambhavami yuge yuge. Let us take one incarnation per yuga. There are 4 yugas. Kurta yugam, Bhagavan appeared as Lakshmi Nrsimha. Treta yugam, Sriman Narayana incarnated as Lord Rama. Dvapara yugam, Sriman Narayana incarnated as Lord Krishna. Kali yugam, Bhagavan will incarnate as Kalki. Until then, he is a manifestation, he is a Tirupati, Srinivasa, Venkateshwara. Even if you take one incarnation per yugam, now come back to Bhagavad Gita. One incarnation per yugam. 4 yugas put together is called one Mahayugam. Now come back to Bhagavad Gita. Yuga Sahasranam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. 1000 such Mahayugas is just 12 hours of Brahma.
Yeah.
So one incarnation per yugam. So in one Mahayugam, 4 small yugas. So 4 incarnations per Mahayugam. In 12 hours of Brahma, daytime of Brahma, 1000 Mahayugas. That means in one day of Brahma, there are 4000 incarnations. Night time of Brahma, another 1000 Mahayugas, but no creation there. Now, Brahma, 1 year for Brahma, 360 days like that. In one day of Brahma, there are 4000 incarnations. Multiply that one by 360 days. You get some 1.44 million incarnations in 1 year of Brahma. And each Brahma will live for 100 such years. That means in one lifetime of Brahma, there are nearly 184 million incarnations. Now come back to Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, as he says, when you do the Sankalpam, Adya Brahmanaha, Dvitiya Parardhe, Shveta Varaha Kalpe, Vaivasada Manvantare, the present Brahma is the 7th Brahma for Lord Narayana. That means in one Brahma's lifetime itself, you keep multiplying exactly 4000 incarnations per yuga, per day of Brahma, multiply by 360. 4, 6, 24, 4, 3 is 12 plus 2, 14. So, 1.44 million incarnations per day, per year. Per year. 100 such years. 144 million incarnations. 144 million incarnations times 6 Brahmas have gone by. Right? 864 million incarnations. And the present Brahma, 50 years have gone by, Dvitiya Prartham. That means another 72 million incarnations. So, 864 plus 92, how many you got? 900 million and above incarnations. But in some yugas, there is more than one incarnations. Like in Dwapara Yuga, both Balarama and Krishna are incarnations. Treta Yuga, Parashurama and Daśāvatāra are both incarnations. So the total number of incarnations are more than 1 billion. Since she cannot remember how many zeros even for billion, so they said, can you remember at least 24 in Bhagavatam? She says, I cannot even remember 24. Can you remember at least 10? Something is better than nothing. So that is how our people have taken the bare minimum. And that too, these incarnations are what happened in this Mahayugam. In this Mahayugam.
In this Mahayugam. Correct.
Before
For
we
sure.
don't know.
For sure.
Because
Before
even the Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Daśāvatāra, Balarama, Krishna are just what happened in the 3 yugas that passed by in this Mahayugam.
Correct.
And for Brahma, if for today, this is the 26th or the 27th Mahayugam. So you can easily understand. So for the sake of children to remember easily, they said Daśāvataras. So we should not be under the mistaken notion that Narayana's incarnations are limited only to 10. They are billion.
So then, for a student of today, then the question comes, how do you recognize then an avatara?
Very simple.
We talk about Krishna, we talk about Venkatesha, and we almost stop the needle there. We don't go beyond Venkatesha. And to think that there hasn't been anybody who is, back to your point, the incarnation of Bhagavan, after that, if we can believe the billion incarnations, then the question becomes, how do you recognize the next one?
One second. When you are born, you don't know what is chemistry. You completed 5 years of primary school, you came to high school. Even then, they didn't straight away introduce chemistry. You came to 10th grade level. Then they introduced the chemistry, atoms. But if you stop your education with the 10th grade, atoms are indivisible. That's all you will know. But you continue to BA level. They say, hey, forget about your 10th grade chemistry. You are now BA level chemistry. Atoms are divisible. Subatomic particles are there. If you stop with the BA level, only you know subatomic particles. You come to PhD level. Then they say, forget about your BA level chemistry. Only electromagnetic forces. Not even quarks, not even gluons. Same thing. Study the scriptures. Study the scriptures, then you will know how the incarnations have come, how many are there, how many scriptures can you study. You have no choice, sir. You studied, to become a software engineer. 5 years you went to primary school, 7 years you went to high school, 12 years, 4 years BTech, 2 years MTech, 18 years of your precious life you spent in studies. In these 18 years, how many teachers came and taught you? How many books you have studied? How many formulas you have memorized? How many exams have you taken? Just to get some food to feed the stomach. 18 years you have spent reading so many books, taking instruction from so many teachers, by hearting the formulas, writing the exams. Tell me, sir, did you spend 18 years on Bhagavan, Krishna to understand? Did we spend 18 months even? Forget about 18 years, 18 months. Did we spend even 18 days?
For sure, yeah.
Now you are asking, I did not even go to primary school. How do I understand electromagnetic theory? What am I to tell you? I did not even go to high school. You are asking me, can you tell me about Boolean algebra? What do you want me to tell you?
Then how do you reconcile for the individual who hasn't spent this 18, neither probably will they be spending, but still, how do you still reconcile and help them show, look, this is what it is. You don't need to know all the basics, but at least let me help you. Because otherwise there's no hope.
Good. You are a software engineer. Electronics. Have you ever seen an electron? But you believed your professor who did PhD, when you gain access to an electron microscope that can magnify it 1,000,000 times, then you can see electrons. But you are there in the 10th grade. In the 10th grade, have faith in your teacher. My teacher has done PhD. He has seen in the electron microscope. So my teacher says, I believe it. So have faith in the acharyas who have studied the scriptures and who have given us elaborate description on Bhagavad Gita, on the Brahma Sutras, on the 12 principal Upanishads. At least these three are called the Prasthanatrayam. Bhagavad Gita, the first and the foremost one. Brahma Sutras, very advanced. 12 Upanishads, principal Upanishads, the Vyakhyanam for that. Either you study or until you study, have faith in your Acharya, in your teacher who has studied. Nobody is stopping you from becoming a professor. You are the one who is not pursuing it.
Correct.
Therefore, everybody has an equal opportunity to become a professor. But please go to PhD. You also do PhD. You also do independent work. Then you will see. That is why they say, Vidvaneva Vijanati Vidvajana Parishramam. If she is there in the 10th grade, she is PhD. I also did 10th grade. It is just another, just like 10th grade, it is also PhD. No. Until you reach that stage, have faith in your professor. My professor did PhD. He got access to electron microscope. He has seen an electron. Yes, they exist. Therefore, he is saying so confidently, let me believe my teacher. You will make progress.
So again, thank you, Swamiji. I couldn't agree more with that. But here is where I talk to so many youth, and here is the confusion. They are confused on who to follow. Because I know you very well. I completely resonate with what you preach and what you teach. But there's so many other lines of teaching and so many other messages that get conveyed. And it is very conflicting when you look at the two different messages. Now, for an individual who is spending 18 years, for an individual who is going all the way from Ishake, Nakato, all of that, when they are going through all the 12 Upanishads, you are right, they will at least gain some of that. But for somebody who is not doing that, how do they get clarity of the message, and who do they say I should start following?
Very simple. Buddhihi karmanusarini. You are in America. You ask anybody in America, democracy is the best thing for the population. She is in Russia. Ask anybody, communism is the only best thing for you, they say. You go to North Korea, they say dictatorship is the only thing where you can prosper. Whether you choose a democracy, whether you choose a communism, or you choose dictatorship, is purely according to your karma, the taste, the vasanas, they differ. So for no reason, somebody says, I like democracy. For somebody, for no reason, it is not for no reason. It is there a reason that we have accumulated or inherited over millions of years of our karma. Can't believe it? Can you come here, Tali? Look at my little friend.
Careful.
Come here, Kanna. Come here, stand on the step. Get onto the step. Right. No, this girl is not my daughter. She is not my daughter-in-law. I am not trying to project something. But this girl believes in Krishna. She knows Bhagavad Gita. To give you a taste of it, can you chant 4 verses, Amma? Dvavimau purushau loke ksharascha kshara evacha
सर्वाणि भूतानि कृतक्षोक्षे उच्यते
उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मे चुदाहृतः
लोकते महावेश्य बेवथवे ईश्वरः
यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः
तस्मिन् लोके वेदितः प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः.
I'll call you again. Now tell me, that child, just age 6 or 7, her purva janma samskaras are such, she could have learnt Baba Black Sheep, how, have you any rule? Or she could have learnt Bhagavad Gita. Without our knowledge, we are attracted to certain things. Somebody is attracted to physics. Somebody is attracted to engineering. Somebody is attracted to medicine. Somebody is attracted to business management. Same way, the present day youth also, let them make up their mind what do they want. They want material prosperity, let them continue material way. They want, in addition to material prosperity, spiritual progress, let them have that also. They want, no, this material prosperity is not going to come with you. Is your grandfather alive? No, I see. When your grandfather is there, he also had 4 houses, 4 crores of rupees, so much of land, 400 acres of land. But when he went away, he did not take his 4 houses with him. He did not take the 4 crores with him. He did not take the 400 acres of land with him. Same thing for us. If your mind is thinking like that, you completely leave this kind of a life, you go to spiritual life, because that is eternal. Certain things are very, very temporary, certain things are eternal. Anything that is material is temporary. It won't come with us. Anything that is spiritual, even if you don't want, it will come with you. The punya, papa, karmas are going to come with us. Whereas if you do that Sharanagati, Lord Krishna says, I will make you beyond even the punya, papa, karmas. If you have papa karma, we go to hell and suffer, narakam, and take birth again. If you have punya karma, you go to swargam, enjoy, but when your punya karma is over, you will come and take birth again. Whereas Krishna says one is a 3rd class jail, another is a 1st class jail. Both of them are in the prison. One is the 3rd class jail, another is in a 1st class jail. Both are of them in the jail. But you want liberation out of the jail? Then he says, I will take you beyond Swargalokam, beyond Brahmalokam. That is what he says. Yamma, you remember? Brahma Bhuvana Lokan Punaravarti Norjuna. You want to come and tell that one, Amma? Anyway, she is not my sister. I am not trying to project my sister or my granddaughter. No, they are not my sister.
I completely get
they are not my granddaughters. Okay? Krishna says, even if you go to Brahmalokam, you will come back and take birth. Only if you attain Vaikuntam, Mamupechyati Kaunteya Punarjanma Navidyate. Therefore, if you believe communism is good for you, go. If you believe democracy is good for you, go. If you believe dictatorship is good for you, go. But when your karma dictates, this is not for me, then you will change from communism to democracy or democracy to dictatorship, it will change.
But isn't that a little bit of helplessness?
No, it is not helplessness. Because if you make an effort, Krishna will help you. If you don't make an effort, your karma will dictate. That is where the human effort is needed. Even moksham, Krishna says, I can give you. But he won't give you just like that. You have to go and beg him.
Beg for that.
Namely, Tava asmi iti yachate. Yachana means begging. Just one simple sentence Rama is telling. Sakrudeva prapannaya tava asmi iti yachate. Only one sentence he wants you to say. I am yours. I am yours. I beg you to take care of me. That's all. You do that one simple begging, Krishna is all for you.
What do you say, Swamiji, then for somebody who is not a Vaishnavite, even from the tradition? I mean, forget birth, I don't even want to go there. But just from tradition, from their own home. But let us assume in their house, in their home, they have a tradition of being a Shaivite. And they look at all the avatars and they say, these are all Vaishnava avatars. Krishna is considered to be that. The whole Vishnu Sahasranama is considered to be that, even though you can call it Bhagavan Sahasranama. But still, point is, if you are not from that household, how do you again, for somebody who is not spending 18 years with this, but how do you reconcile that?
Don't take it too personally. Or all the American people, some of them at least, are born with Indian Hindu way of culture or Vedic culture. But there are some Americans who follow Hare Krishna. How did they accept? Number one, there are not only Krishna is accepted almost all over the world. Bhagavad Gita is the only one that is accepted all over the world. Still, if you don't believe it, forget about Vedic philosophy, our Indians, Vaishnavas, Shaivites, or Shakteyas, or Kaumaras, all these people. Forget about them. Let's go a little bit into science. During 1945, at the height of Second World War, when Germany, Japan, etc. were invading UK, US, etc., these people thought there is only one way to stop the Second World War: create a nuclear weapon to stop all wars. The chief of that atomic energy program is called Manhattan Project.
Yeah, the Manhattan
to
Project.
develop a nuclear weapon. Oppenheimer, when they made the first nuclear weapon, they have to test it whether it will fire or not, or misfire. So in the deserts of New Mexico, when they tested and detonated, and when the mushroom plume came, you know what exactly Oppenheimer said? Exactly, he quoted Bhagavad Gita and said, Kalosmi lokakshaya krut pravruddho lokan samahartumiha pravruttaha. Everybody knows. Oppenheimer said, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said about this kind of a unimaginable energy that can wipe out the universe long 5,000 years. Now tell me, is Oppenheimer an Indian? Is Oppenheimer a Vaishnava? Is Oppenheimer a Shaivite? Is Oppenheimer a Shakteya? Is Oppenheimer a Kaumara? No, sir. He had interest, he studied Sanskrit, he studied Bhagavad Gita, and he believed in it. That's all.
Very good, sir.
That's all. See, the question is, first thing, if they want salvation, everybody comes to the temple, everybody worships, everybody is a devotee, but somebody comes to the temple, Swami, I want to get married, get me a girl. Somebody comes, Swami, I am married, I have no children, get me children. Swami, I don't have a job, get me money, get me job. Somebody comes, everybody comes with their own wish list. But if somebody comes to Bhagavan, I want to understand you, I want to be your servant, I want salvation, then he will reciprocate with them in the same way. That is what Krishna
Isn't
says.
salvation also a selfish thought?
That is correct. Salvation, a pure devotee will not even ask for salvation.
Very
a pure
good. Very
devotee
good.
asks, Tava nitya kinkaratam prardhaye. If I say, I want to be your boss, that is selfishness. If I say, I want to be your servant, that is not selfishness. I want to be your servant. So in pure religious principles, a devotee won't even ask for salvation. A devotee asks the divine couple, Divya Dampatis, Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana, please give me an opportunity to serve you eternally. Tava nitya kinkaratam prardhaye. Eternal service to you. Since this world is not eternal, Bhagavan himself, because your interest is genuine, your request is genuine, it is not coming from the lips, it is coming from the core of your heart. He understands. So he is taking you to a place where you can continue eternal service. Because this world is not eternal.
Completely.
Your desire is to serve him eternally, not today.
Yeah.
It is not one day business. It is not raat gayi, baat gayi. You want to serve him eternally.
Correct.
This is not eternal. So he is taking you to a place where you can do eternal service. That's all. So moksha, you don't have to ask for it.
Very well said, Swamiji. In fact, you are one of the few, and I know you don't crave for all these kudos, but when Krishna says that nobody can predict the outcome, how can somebody predict that you will get moksha? So I think you just answered that. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly that. Let me bring...
No, Krishna gives a guarantee.
Yes.
It's not a question of our prediction.
Correct.
Prediction, there is a probability.
Correct.
In probability theory,
Correct.
it
Correct.
may
Correct.
or may not happen. Whereas Krishna gives, when we were children,
Correct.
suppose she says something, can you promise in the name of truth? Do Satya Pramanam. Promise in the name of truth. We always say, do Satya Pramanam. Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava, madbhakto, madhyaji, mam namaskuru, mame vaishyase satyante, pratijane prayosame. Krishna says, I promise you in the name of Satyam, you surrender to me, you will come to me. Promises. If you and I say something, it has no validity. Suppose she takes a Xerox copy of something and signs it and put $100 bill. It is not valid. But when the Reserve Bank governor or somebody signs that, It is valid, it is a paper. But that is a valid $100 bill because the Reserve Bank governor signed it.
Where I'm going with this is, even if you're not a believer of Krishna,
Yes.
even if you're not, just by your tradition or whatever,
Yes.
my point is it still doesn't matter whether Krishna guarantees or not, because what you said, which is, it's not that I want it,
Yes.
I surrender.
Exactly. You want to serve somebody
Exactly.
is not ego.
So it doesn't matter who is guaranteeing.
If I want to be your master, then it is ego.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yes, I is there.
Correct.
I want to be your boss, that is ego. I want to be your servant, that is not ego. I is there.
Correct.
But that I is used to become a servant, but not a master.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm with you. Let me take you back to the avatars. I know about, as you said, so many, but we say at least remember 24, if not at least 10 out of it. Why don't we have a temple here? For example, we have for Lakshmi Narasimha, Krishna, Rama, but why don't we have something called Matsya or Kurma here? Like, why doesn't that come? Nobody is praying for Matsya or Kurma, but instead it's more for Narasimha or Rama or Krishna.
Even though we have billions of incarnations, according to our philosophical studies, not all incarnations are full incarnations of Narayana. Some of them are amshavataras, kalavataras, partial incarnations. Only very few are called purnavataras, full incarnations. How do you know? You won't like it. However much a man thinks, I am great, you are never great. You know when you are great? When your wife comes and accepts, my husband is great, then only you are great.
Correct.
Why this example that the wife has to accept the husband as great? Exactly. Even though you have a billion incarnations, only those incarnations are called full incarnations where Mahalakshmi accepted that incarnation as her husband. Rest of them partial incarnations. Amshavataras, kalavataras. Matsya, no Mahalakshmi Samparkam. Kurma, no Mahalakshmi Samparkam. Varaha, that Mahalakshmi in one form is called Mahalakshmi. She clones herself into two forms to please her Lord, Sri Devi, Bhudevi. Her second form, Bhudevi, accepted Varaha. So, full incarnation. She clones herself into three forms, Sri Devi, Bhudevi, Neela Devi. She clones herself into 8 forms, Ashtalakshmis, to please her husband. So, Nrasimha, Mahalakshmi as Chansulakshmi accepted him, sat in his lap, full incarnation. Vamana, no Mahalakshmi Samparkam. Parashurama, no Mahalakshmi. Very easy now. Daśāvatāra, Mahalakshmi came as Sita and followed him wherever he went. Full incarnation. Balarama, no Mahalakshmi. Krishna, my God. Looking at the unimaginable divine leelas, sportive activities of Krishna, that Mahalakshmi got mesmerized and appeared in all her 8 forms. That is the reason why Krishna had no choice but to marry the 8 forms of Mahalakshmi. Over there in Vaikuntham, Ashtalakshmis. Over here, Rukmini, Jambavati, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Nagnajiti, Bhadra, Lakshana, Paripurnavatara. So what is the difference again? Purnavatara, Paripurna, mathematics. A equal to B. A, 2 horizontal lines, B, A is equal to B. A, 3 horizontal lines, B, A is identically equal to B. That is what Vedavyasa says. Yete cha amshakala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Rama equal to Narayana. Narasimha equal to Narayana. Krishna identically equal to Narayana. That's all.
Where did Narayana come in between?
Vaikuntham.
Out of all the avatars, where did Narayana come?
All the incarnations come from Narayana only. Narayan, in the Vedas, Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Rudro Jayate, Narayanat Indro Jayate. Where did Narayana come? Look at Ramavatara. And Rama behaved only as a human being. Very often Rama's standard sentence, I am a good boy, Rama, son of Dasharatha. That's all he always said. Atmanam manusham manye Ramo Dasharathatmajaha. I am a good boy, Rama, son of Dasharatha. That's all, a human being. But when Sita Devi did Agni Pravesham, Brahma, Rudra, even Dasharatha came down. There, Brahma told Rama, you being the Supreme Lord, is it necessary, Rama, that Sita has to do Agni Pravesham? Rama said, what are you saying, Brahmaji? I consider myself as a simple human being. Atmanam manusham manye Ramo Dasharathatmajaha. Since you are Brahma, you created me. Tell me who I am. Brahma said, sorry, it is a mistake. I did not create you, Swami. You created me. Bhavan Narayano Vishnu. That is where Narayana comes. So originally, in Vaikuntham, the story, screenplay, direction is already set. And Mahalakshmi and Narayana, they come and act that role as Rama, as a human being. Sita Devi as a simple human being, as an embodiment of Dharma. But Krishnavatara, different story, dialogue and screenplay. So Krishna, right from the beginning, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya manmana bhava madbhakto. So that is one kind of a story, screenplay, direction, Ramavatara. Krishnavatara, another kind of story, screenplay, direction. That's why there's a lot of difference.
And surrender can happen only to which avatara then?
It can happen to Rama, it can happen to Krishna, because they are one and the same. Jag mein hai do sundar naam, chahe Ram kaho, chahe Shyam kaho. They are one and the same. Namely, in Treta Yuga, he incarnated, Narayana incarnated as Rama. In Dvapara Yuga, Narayana incarnated as Krishna. It is a time frame. Very simple, sir. Very simple, sir. Morning, 7 o'clock, taking your son to the school, you are the father. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the office, you are an employee. 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in your bedroom, you are a husband. Now, how many people are you? You are only one person. But morning 7 to 8, you are playing the role of a father. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., you are playing the role of a employee. Then with your wife, you are playing the role of a husband. Only one person. Same thing, only one person, Narayana. Treta Yuga, he played the role of a perfect human being as Rama. Dvapara Yugam, he played the role of a Krishna, Superman. Yes.
I was talking to a college student, Swamiji, and she's becoming a doctor. So she has some good understanding of what happens at birth, how the fetus goes through and all of that. But here is her challenge, which is, I hear everything about moksha, salvation and everything. I understand why Krishna, you got to surrender and all of that. But I'm pretty content doing what I do, and I'm pretty content serving the society. What is wrong with that? Why do I need an after-death liberation when I'm happy to be born again and again and keep serving the society?
To give you a simple example, you have a job now. You are getting salary. You are paid. You are getting the paycheck, you are spending. You are buying the car, you are buying the house. Why do you have a retirement account? Why do you have a 401k? Because life doesn't mean that you will work forever. A day will come when you retire. And after your retirement, you need something to fall back. So you take a 401k, you have a retirement plan. Same thing. There are so many people who don't care about retirement. They make the money, they spend, they go to clubs, they go to parties, they spend everything. Retirement, they are having a very tough time. Whereas some people have the foresight. They plan for their retirement. Some people, they know, the scripture says very clearly. Why the scriptures? Even science says, parapsychology, etc., life after death. There are so many instances which the scientists have proved that there is life after death. 5-year-old kids,
Yeah.
somewhere in different countries, are talking about their previous life in a different country, and the scientists, out of curiosity, took them there. They could identify their previous life, wife, parents, the house, the environment, and all. So, some people plan for their retirement. Some people plan for their afterlife also. Some people enjoy everything today and have tough time when they retire. Some people don't care about afterlife, tough time, again birth. Yes, you are happy serving the society, but that is not enough. It is good, nobody says it is bad, but that is not enough. Being good, we are expected to be good. But to attain
Very well said.
salvation,
Yeah.
you have to go one step beyond being good. One step beyond being good to attain that punaravritti rahita moksha margam, where salvation means liberation from the never ending cycle of birth and death, birth and death. That's why they plan for that. You plan for retirement. She doesn't plan for retirement. You have a comfortable retired life. She has a tough time after retirement. Same thing.
And how do you reconcile the fact that again there's these two conflicting thoughts, salvation while you are living this life, because there is a type of liberation as well, type of freedom you get when you're reading those scriptures. You feel good about it when you're reading that scriptures, you feel peaceful, you feel unconnected with anything. And of course we have the after death also. I know it's a long discussion if we go into that detail, but briefly if you could say, for somebody who is saying, look, when I'm doing that japa, when I'm doing the Lakshmi Agriya Homa, I was in a different state of mind.
Sir, it is not what we are comfortable with. We have to go by the scripture. The scriptures say, Etat dehavasane mam tvatpadam prapayasvayam. As long as you are living, I am living. What does it mean? We still have the prarabdha karma to go through. Prarabdha karma, we have to go through. There is no way we can avoid it. Therefore, we feeling good is a very, very temporary phase. Whereas salvation is an eternal feel good. You feel good doing the puja, doing some japam, doing some service. But afterwards, we are going through a lot of difficult times also. Like Corona was there.
Correct.
The whole world went through difficult times. Same thing, poverty. Same thing, health. Same thing, old age. Same thing, diseases. So, our feeling good temporarily is okay, but that doesn't mean that is everlasting. Whereas salvation means it is everlasting. Everlasting and free from any kind of pain, any kind of uncomfortable situations, be it old age or disease or poverty or any of these things. So it is not what we feel, it is what the scripture says. That is why they say, Krishna says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastitau. Take scripture as your reference. Suppose you are a medical doctor. Good. Some complicated cases are there. They call it protocol treatments, where experts in the field have given a protocol for that. Not even a millimeter you can deviate from the protocol. You have to do that way, and you will get the result. So these are our ancient sages. Those days they used to live up to 120,000 years. With thousands of years of intense meditation, they compiled some protocols. Whereas you and I cannot even live for 100 years. So we don't have that thousands of years of tapasya to do to come up with new protocols. So best thing for us, yad acharati shreshtaha tattadeve tarojanaha. So follow the protocols set by Mahatmas and you are on the right path.
Thank you, Swamiji. So a couple more and then I'll again link it to what we are going through on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of individuals who believe in Durga Devi. And there is actually one school of thought that says the seventh child of Vasudeva was actually the one who protected Krishna, was the one actually that was Durga. So if a protector of Krishna is Durga, why is it improper to not believe in Durga and surrender to Durga?
I am not here to contradict their belief, but the scriptures doesn't say that. The scripture says, according to Vedavyasa Srimad Bhagavatam, Durga did not protect Krishna. 6 newborn kids of Devaki were brutally killed by Kamsa. When Devaki Devi was expecting her 7th child in Sri Vaikuntham, Sriman Narayana invoked his Yoga Maya, and said, Yoga Maya, Devaki Devi is expecting for the 7th time. This 7th child is going to be none other than Adisesha. 6 of the newborn kids of Devaki Devi are killed by Kamsa. The 7th child cannot be killed by Kamsa. You please go and do this for me. Vasudeva had another wife, Rohini, living in Nanda Gokulam. She was visiting Devaki and Vasudeva are under house arrest. She was visiting Vasudeva. Narayana ordered, exact verse, Narayana ordered Yogamaya, make an embryo transfer from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. People will think Devaki had a miscarriage. People will think Rohini was visiting her husband, she conceived. Rohini will give birth to Balarama, Adisesha. Now, for the 8th child, I myself will be born to Devaki. You, Yogamaya, you be born there to Yashoda as a female child. We swap the mothers. I will go to your mother Yashoda and you come to my mother Devaki. Since we are exchanging the mothers, you will be worshipped as my de facto sister. You will be worshipped as my de facto sister. Except moksham, sarva kamya varaprade. People will worship you with 14 names. Amba, Shambhavi, Bhadrakali, Durga, Katyayani, Gauri, Uma, Chandika, Kanyaka, Vaishnavi, Narayani. People will worship you with 14 names. Anything other than moksham, I give you the authority to sanction them. Then Durga says, I am so grateful to you that you gave me this kind of a wonderful opportunity to be of service to you. And you gave me the power for anything material except moksham. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam says. Therefore, who said Durga is not great? Durga is great for anything. She wants a job, she wants children, she wants to become President of United States. She can give. Got it? So this is the truth. So Durga protected Krishna is not proper way of looking at what the Mahatma Vedavyasa has said. So Krishna is called Paramatma. Everyone else is a Jeevatma. But they are in a very exalted position as Jeevatmas. As Brahma, Rudra, Indra, Durga, the highest level of Jeevatmas. Paramatma, one who can give material comforts as well as salvation. That is the difference between Devi Devatas and Bhagavan. That is the difference between ordinary Puranas, Itihasas and Bhagavad Gita. These are Vyasa Uvacha, Valmiki Uvacha, Vyasa said, Valmiki said. That is Bhagavan Uvacha. That Bhagavan Shabdam has a lot more than what ordinary people think. Shadgunya Paripurnatvam alone decides who is Bhagavan. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Tejaha, Shadgunas Paripurnam. What is Paripurnam? Go back to the Veda mantras. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. You go to your bank. Your bank balance is $10,000. You write a check, withdraw $10,000. Your balance is 0. If you are Bhagavan, 10,000 minus 10,000 equal to 0 for any Jivatma, including Devi Devatas. Paramatma, Bhagavan, 10,000 minus 10,000 is equal to 10,000. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishya. That is the difference between Jivatmas and Paramatmas. But Jivatmas at an exalted stage, she has a $10 billion in her bank account. So in $10 billion, even if she withdraws 10 million, it is nothing. It is only a small fraction. Still she has. But still, if she withdraws 10 billion from the bank, her balance is 0. Whereas Bhagavan means 10 billion minus 10 billion is equal to 10 billion. That is why Bhagavan could fulfill the needs and necessities of trillions of Jivatmas. Whereas Devi Devatas have limited capability. So in that sense, Durga is a Sarva Kamya Varaprade. Anything that is material, yes, Durga can do. But Moksham is beyond material, Paramarthikam.
Absolutely, very well said. I'll close with two, but one very tactical question. Constant question that gets asked. Why this big fuss about onion and garlic?
You want me to give a serious reply? Or
Please go ahead and give. This is a very
reply.
constant question that gets. Why is so much fuss about onion? We eat potatoes, but why can't we eat onion and garlic?
There are three qualities: Sattva Gunam, Rajo Gunam, Tamo Gunam. Sattva Gunam will make you think about religious matters. Rajo Gunam will make you think about enjoy more and more. Tamo Gunam, come on, no religious matters, no enjoyment. Eat and sleep. The chemistry, everything is chemistry. The chemistry of onion and garlic is, it will increase your Rajo Gunam and Tamo Gunam, but not Sattva Gunam. To put it lightly, your wife is beautiful, but you keep on eating onion garlic. Outward you are a gentleman, but in the mind there are devils. So even though your wife is beautiful, your mind is thinking next door lady appears more beautiful to you than your own wife. Rajo Gunam, Tamo Gunam. And why they are forbidden for eating for devotees? Come back to Krishna. Yajna sishtashana santo muchyante sarva kilbishaihi bhunchate te tvagam papa ye pachanti atma karanat. You prepare something and offer to Bhagavan and eat it as the prasad of Bhagavan. You will be getting rid of all your karma. But you eat anything without offering to Bhagavan, you are eating only sin. And onion and garlic are not offered to Bhagavan, they are not fit to be offered. Therefore, you are eating something which is unfit to be offered. That means you are eating a sinful food. So you will end up in sin. That is why they are not permitted. Not only they produce Rajo Gunam and Tamo Gunam, one leads to the other. So this Rajo Gunam and Tamo Gunam starts with a simple thing. That lady is nice, and ends up in the mind one after another. That is why they say devil's workshop. So to drive the devil away, they say you take sattvic food. Sattvic food that is offered to Krishna. Even if a negative thought comes, you pat yourself, stupid, why am I thinking like this? That's not good. You will correct yourself.
Absolutely.
That is the difference.
Absolutely. One last thing, Swamiji, for anyone listening out there who haven't had a chance to spend all this time, learn everything, what is a simple message you could give them to get started today? Just get started today.
Read Bhagavad Gita. Associate with good people. Satsangam is very important. Read Bhagavad Gita. You don't understand. You never understood Boolean algebra in the first day. Keep on working. As you get more and more oriented towards religious life, first thing, go to an acharya. That is what Krishna says, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Go to a right acharya who follows verbatim Krishna's teachings, Bhagavad Gita, and he will do the upadesham to you. Then you will become a wonderful person. So start with the satsangam, read Bhagavad Gita, go to an acharya. Again, you are in America. You can go to a community college and get a degree. You can go to a state university and get a degree. Rutgers, Stony Brook, etc. You can go to Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale and get a degree. Where you go, which kind of acharya you go, which kind of degree you get. Getting a degree people get. But the exposure of the student in a community college is different from the exposure of a student in a state university to a student who has gone to Harvard, MIT, etc. Same thing. Start with satsangam, read Bhagavad Gita, go to a perfect acharya, jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Then you will be on the right track. If not today, tomorrow, you will become successful.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much
Om
for your time.
Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Asmat Paragurubhyo Namaha, Om Asmat Saragurubhyo Namaha. Sriranganath Shragopaitendra Drashtum Lakshmi Nrsimha Shedet Karuneka Patram Sriranga Veeravarat Shragoparujam Vedanta Desika Namaha Srimate Shivan Shragopasri Vedanta Desnamaha Desikaya Namaha Asmad Acharya Tiruvadigale Sharanam. What I learned is only with the mercy of my Acharya. Without my Acharya, I am nothing. I am ever grateful to my Acharya, the great Mahatma, the 44th Jeeyar of Sri Ahobelamatham, who transformed me into a worthless fellow to something today.
Krishna Arpanamastu.
Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Karmaparam Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.